Hey everybody, what's going on? ShabbyDoo here, and today we're going to talk about the Week 9 content update for Icarus. So, cat's out of the bag, and as expected, you are not getting your talent respec this week, and they didn't even mention it in the content update. So, sorry to tell you, but that's where we're at right now. But what we do have is some great updates to farming, and actually it could be viable now depending on the numbers. So let's talk about that. In addition to bug fixes and optimizations, most of our updates this week are user experience themed with changes to consumables, the prospect selection screen, and mission art. So basically some UI updates, right? Look out for the highlights on prospects to define them as insured drops, a feature that guarantees your prospector safety in the case of them missing their leaving window. You'll also notice some new items on the loading screens. I don't really understand why they're like re-emphasizing that. We've had insured drops, and it doesn't mention like a new insured drops there. So it's just kind of, it just seems like a filler. Is this like the filler arc of an Icarus content right here? Like, is this just a recap series? As expected of last week, not only do we tell you when you can skip the intro, but there is now a settings menu option to automatically skip it. Great, thanks. Can we get talent resets here? Farming. For the Week 9 update, we wanted to give farming some love, adding variations to crop growth time and yields. Allows players to farm with more thought. Long-term, high yield crops can be helpful to players spending large amounts of time away from the base. And my neck. While shorter yield crops might be useful for someone spending a lot of time at their home. We've also added more information to the tooltips on farming plots and their crops. We'll go jump in the game at the end of this too and go look at one real quick and see what they say. This sets the groundwork for even more farmer mechanics such as greenhouse effects. Farm plots now track if they can see the sky above them and whether they have glass buildables around them. With no sky visible and no greenhouse present, crops have a 50% growth speed reduction. So get that shit outside. And now this is actually, like, I actually quite enjoy this because we've talked about this in the streams that we do on every Friday quite often, where we have glass buildings, but they're like just useless really, besides for aesthetic purposes, of course. But I mean, like, for actual content that changes gameplay, it's useless, right? But now we can actually build a greenhouse, which definitely was its intended feature, and they finally put that in. So now when you grow crops using a greenhouse, regardless of seeing the sky directly or not, I don't really understand that. Like, if I have a greenhouse in a cave, like, unless I put some sort of lighting system in there, it's not going to work as nearly as well, correct? My botanists out there, let me know down below in the comments if that's true or not. Obviously, I assume it is. I'm an idiot, though, but who knows? So that just kind of seems like a lazy plug, in my opinion. Like, they couldn't make it look, they couldn't put layers to it. Like, if it's under glass and the sky's above it, you get the 50%. But regardless, you'll get a 50% growth increase with a greenhouse. So if it's outside, standard, no greenhouse, no sky, 50% reduction. Greenhouse, aka glass, and no sky or sky, it's a 50%. So just put some glass in there. The future of farming. So mind you, this next little bit here is all about their pipeline, or not even pipeline, let's just call it a dream aspect of what they intend to do, but with no actual metrics involved. They just kind of throw some nice fluffy words out there, which would be great because, I mean, with a game like this, and we should have some in-depth farming, right? Especially if we're trying to colonize a planet. Players can expect these systems to grow over time as we introduce more intricate mechanics to engage with. Expect to see multiple ways to water crops across all tech levels. Yeah, I mean, where's my frickin' sprinkler? Hydroponic trays will be a new way to boost growth for those that wish to invest in their farm technology, and different fertilizers may alter growth patterns. That's all nice and dandy. You haven't added a new item to this game in quite some time. Let's hammer out some of the issues that already exist in the game before we come in with an arc of content that's not going to be from 3 seasons from now. User interface. They made some changes to the prospect select map, adding visual identifiers for insurance drops and cleaning up the format so it's more simple to read through and select the right drop for you. Leave us your feedback on the changes and feature upvote when you jump into play. Insurance drops give you security that if you miss your return window, your character will be recovered by the UDA regardless of the risk. This is only on earlier, easier missions, but will give you some reassurance if you want a more relaxed session and are a new player to the game. Again, this already existed, so like, it just seems like, to me, this is just a repetition of what they've done like 4 weeks ago. Is that when they did? Like a month ago, give or take. This is a filler content. Like, get rid of this. Like, this thing's like half of this is like future shit we did before, and like some little content update, you know, farming. Next, going down here, we got some community highlight video. Actually, I did watch this. I really like it because Ghost, it shows off his amazing building here. If you haven't checked him out, go look up Ghost. He is an amazing builder. Like, just look at this goddamn thing. It's freaking beautiful. Look at that. Like, come on. This dude's a freaking animal. He's absolutely insane. So do check him out if you haven't already. I'm just going to go back. I don't really care about the stuff in the middle. It's just a little couple things here. Oh, the monkey puzzle one was actually pretty good, funny too. They built a nice little house next to the sandworm boss, and the sandworm was just attacking it. Cool house though. But yeah, so changelog, the nuts and bolts here. Added settings menu option to automatically skip the intro video. Seems like it should have been done last week, but that's all right. Adding building upgrade tools support for all pieces and materials. Great. Added farm plots, now track if they can see the sky above them and if they have any glass buildables around them. No sky and no greenhouse will have a 50% reduction. The presence of a greenhouse building will allow full growth regardless of seeing the sky and will increase growth speed by 50%. Changed farming to be more dynamic by decreasing growth time and increasing yield times. Amazing. Added mushrooms can now be grown in crop plots. Great. Thank you for finally doing that. Now it's a fully functional item. Welcome to the game, mushrooms. Thank you. Added more information and tool tips on farming plots and their crops. Great, we'll go check that out afterwards. Like I said, optimized the logic around plant growth. Changed knife throw to require a higher minimum charge to reduce the instances of accidentally throwing it. I've honestly never had that happen to me. I drop shit more often than not, so that's just me. And I also use an exotic knife. You can't throw it, even though it has throw damage. So, you know, there's that too. Fixed issue preventing fish from spawning on some outposts. Leave me a comment down below, my outpost players. I know when we were in the live streams together, quite a few of you were telling me that you had 0 fish still, or pretty much no fish. So leave me a comment down below if that's been updated in your outpost there. Identified and optimized several of the most expensive building piece meshes. All right, cool. Updated existing and added several new loading screens. That's cool. I really do enjoy loading screens, honestly. Like, it's a nice little thing to look at, and it really just, it gives something to show off, right? Improved prospect select screen by adding better visibility of the availability of insurance and updated prospect images. Also, tidied up layout of available prospects. You know what I just thought of? It would be a great feature. What if you could use rocket points, your research points, to make any mission have insurance on it, and it gets more and more expensive as you go through. So that way our nice casual players who have all the rocket points, but they, you know, sometimes don't want to do a mission because they're not sure, you know, boom, 500 points in, or you lose the entire reward. I don't know, just thoughts. Leave me a comment down below what you think about that. Let's see. We fixed an issue with the recipe UI window scaling. Fixed some character names not being displayed correctly on the mission report lobby info panel. Fixed claim prospect prompt text expanding outside of its window. Whatever. Updated infected wound description to mention antibiotics instead of antiseptics. Fixed wine giving the incorrect buff when consumed and returning the wrong empty vessel for reuse. Fixed issue where concrete finished visuals were always on. Improved the ability to place trophies on other deployables, specifically fireplaces, and improved the fireplace collision mesh. Fixed issues with existing prospects if changes are made to the map while they're still in progress, and fixed the missing consume stack option for carrots, because we all know we were just sucking carrots down our face holes like we're donkeys, and we need to make sure I could stuff 22 of them down there as fast as possible. But all right, yeah, some good changes, honestly. Very lackluster for a week, but I mean, honestly, like, these are good changes still, and it's a good sign for Icarus. I've always said in all of our content together that farming's just an absolute joke. Like, look at the streams that we've done where we needed to do farming. Frick, we started one on Friday for what is it, the Advanced Order Stockpile quest, where we needed to go kill a bunch of polar bears, bring weapons in, and get a bunch of food made, and like biofuel stove grade food. And we had like literally, I don't know, 50 crop plots out there, and it still took longer to do that than it did for me to go gather all of the materials to make the consumables for the weapons. So there's that. Let's go jump into the game real quick and actually look at the UI of the farming plots now and see how they stack up. But if you're loving these content updates, make sure you hit that like button down below. Leave me a subscribe as well if you're loving it, so you can make sure you get back for that sweet shabby content, and I'd appreciate it as well. And like I keep dropping, leave me comments about what you think about these updates. I know you are all expecting a talent update, and I even said in all of our streams it's not going to happen. and I'm sure this is going to lose them a little bit of people too. It's really tough when you tease something as important as talent respects, which people have been asking about since literally beta week 1, and then not even to mention it in the next week. So we'll kind of see how this goes, but let's get in the game and see what we got here. All right, so here's a few crop plots. You can see I have a few stuff growing in here. Let's take a look here. So it looks like it doesn't give us any kind of like crafting menu that tells us how long it's going to take. So we're going to have to play around with it and play with some times. I can't wait to actually see how long these take, especially when they say they've decreased the times and increased the yields of some and made some like short-term crops with a short-term investment, whereas you got some long-term ones with a higher yield. But we don't know what they are until we deep dive into it. But you can see here what they did add was just this little thing saying the crop is covered by something and isn't likely to receive good sunlight. Growth rate is halved. So then if I just put some like glass half walls here, I'm sure it'd be enough to make this be a glass house effect. Well, all right, guys, that's going to wrap up the Week 9 content update. If you love what you see, make sure you hit that like button down below and leave a comment as well. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well so you get back for that sweet Shabby content. All of the above is very helpful to myself and the comments especially because I only get to talk to you all. But all right, guys, as usual, this has been Shabby. Doing up the rest of your day is not too shabby.